Greetings everyone, I am Dr. Rachel Meixner, and today we are going to be talking about creating tailored texts to help build literacy in our students. So we are actually going to start out today at Magic School. So Magic School has really gotten on board with the science of reading, which is kind of a nationwide focus now for how we teach students how to read. And they have a tool that's really helpful if you want to create texts for students to practice, or if you need to create like a curriculum-based measure or a trial to collect data for progress monitoring. So what you're going to do is you'll open Magic School and log in. As you can see, I'm already logged in. We are going to find the decodable text tools. And so if you go to the decodable text tool, you can specify where the student is with their science of reading progress. So this shows you all of the different phonemes that they might be working on, and then moving into more advanced patterns in words. It's really a beautiful thing. So if you choose, let's say a student is pretty advanced and they're learning about the ah sound. When you click generate, it will provide text for you that repeats that pattern. So you can have the student read this to you and you can determine whether or not they're able to decode that pattern within the word, which we know from science of reading, it's all about decoding those patterns and then getting so comfortable with it that you can make meaning from what you are reading. So that's the decodable text tool. And again, I found that by searching for the word decodable. I would also say if you want to find anything related to literacy, and we'll talk about a few of these in other videos, you can just type in the word text and it will come up with everything that has to do with text. It didn't come up with decodable text though, so you want to make sure you know that magic word decodable if you're building kind of that early literacy. And the truth is, we say it's early literacy, but for us, our students in special education don't follow a chronological age with their skill development. So what's nice about this is you can make reading trials that match what the student needs without looking too young or elementary. You can also use ChatGPT to make even more advanced reading practice. What I like to do is to create reading passages that include many of the patterns the student might be working on. So I actually copied my prompt. I'm going to paste it in. So I like to say, compose a high interest reading passage about blank, which includes numerous whatever words. So you can choose the pattern the student is working on. At a second grade reading level, 200 words. I could even say a higher reading level. 200 words would be long for a second grader, but I'm also trying to build stamina. Now here's where I love ChatGPT. When I say high interest, I can also put in something that the student loves. So let's imagine that this student is really into cats. They just love cats. They love everything that has to do with cats. So let's say it's about cats. Now when I click generate, it will give me a practice passage that includes a lot of those words that I'm looking for. I see cats, I see pets, I see nap, and of course the reading level is second grade, so it's going to include some challenge words as well. But what I would do with this is if I'm having the student work on that VCV pattern, I could have the student read through this first for fun and then go on a scavenger hunt and try to highlight all the VCV words and make sure that they're able to read them. Or if this is a stretch level for the student, I could read the passage out loud and then give it to the student to go on the scavenger hunt. Another thing that you can always do, and we'll talk about this in other videos because I do this all the time, is I can check for comprehension. I can say create for comprehension questions. And now I need to choose, do I want this to be short answer, which would be probably the hardest, where the student pulls the answer out of thin air? Would I want them to be true or false, where the student has two choices? Do I want it to be multiple choice, where the student has 4 choices? I'll say multiple choice for this one. And I can ask it to create questions that require the student to make inferences. I can ask for questions that require, identifying the main idea, any of the reading skills that I might be working on. Now, of course, it gave away the answer and it gave me horizontal lines. So I would say regenerate without horizontal lines because I don't want those pasted. If you like them, you can keep them. And without the correct answer. And now it will be ready to go for me to copy and paste for my students. All right, so thank you for listening, and that's how you can use AI to create text and build literacy skills. Have a great day.